What does it mean to be all in? It means you're confident you're doing the right thing. You commit to it. For Dominion Energy, we're all in on helping the environment. We're all in on clean energy, all in on solar, all in on building the nation's largest offshore wind farm. We're even capturing the methane from local farms to create renewable natural gas. We're not doing it because it's the easy thing to do, but because it's the right thing to do. For your family and friends, your neighbors and your community, for the future, for our planet. Dominion Energy. Actions speak louder.
What that is, Dr. Maria?
I don't know, Luis. I have never seen anything like this before.
It's important?
Yes, I think it is. Very important. We will take one more picture. Then we will dig it out. I'm going to Moraggio Bay, to the Institute. You two are to wait here in the camp.
You be gone long?
Long enough to find out what this is and get help in digging out the rest of the skeleton.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're listening to the Monster Madness podcast. I'm going to be your host for tonight. This is Dana Gwynn. Along with me is
Erica Gwynn.
I like how you said good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and then said, I hope you're having a good night.
Did I mess it up?
No, you didn't mess anything up, you beautiful bastard.
Okay.
I'm Matt Stein, bringing that velvety thunder to the show.
Yep.
I wish you talked like that all the time. We get so many listeners.
Just, I'll be here to weather the storm with you, everyone.
So tonight we are covering the film The Creature of the Black Lagoon from 1954, starring Richard Carlson and Julia Adams.
I don't know. I'm trying to use my velvety thunder voice.
I like it.
He lost the velvet there.
I know.
It was just thunder.
I need something to say to bring the heat.
You could try the opening where they do the speech of like how God created the heaven and the earth.
I wish people could see your eyebrow like perk up when you're like the heat. I can't move my eyebrow like that, but
you can't get to it both ways.
I can't cock my eyebrow.
Someone said my eyebrows are perfect crescent moons, and it was very uncomfortable for me.
She can't do a rock.
Get over it, because I was being complimentary.
I forgot it was you.
Yeah.
I sent it to someone else. So a friend of mine is an esthetician.
A what?
An esthetician. She does hairs
massage, skin care, stuff
she
like
waxes buttholes.
Your butthole?
No. She's a friend of mine's girlfriend, but she's very big into eyebrows and once told me that I had nice eyebrows. And when you said that, I sent her the picture and said that you said I had terrific eyebrows, and she agreed.
I mean, crescent moons. They were very, arched.
In that picture, yeah. But the eyebrow care is not something I do anything with.
You don't pluck your eyebrows?
Natural.
I don't. I shave right down the middle. That's it.
I mean, if that's all you have to do, good on you, sir.
No, for sure.
All right, sorry, Daniel.
Yeah, enough
we got
about
on the
eyebrow
topic
care.
of eyebrows.
Oh, okay. So this movie that we're talking about, it starts off with a big speech about how God created the heaven and the earth. And you kind of watch the planet being formed and then a creature emerge out of the ocean. And you kind of see the footprints just go across.
So you're seeing evolution in the works.
Correct. And then the film starts off with in the Amazon at an archaeological dig site with two men. One's name is Luis, digging on the side of the embankment next to the river of the Dead Sea. They uncover a mummified hand from an unknown species.
That's a creepy hand.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty good for a mummified one.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, if I found that, I would be highly concerned. That's a dinosaur. That's not like a fish or a lizard. That is a legit dinosaur hand.
She's not wrong.
Damn right I'm not.
So, and then I guess right away, we see the creature's hand resting on the bank as the scientist, Dr. Carl Marie, he leaves and heads back to the Institute to show what he just discovered. And he leaves.
You see the real one.
Yeah, the real monster.
The real creature.
You just see his hand, so you kind of think like, is he watching? Is he not?
I really enjoy that. Like every time there's even just like this, like you just see like even like a toenail of this creature. It's like ba ba da ba, like that epic music.
The John Cena music.
No, is that his music?
Yes.
She messed it up a little bit. It was like dun dun dun.
No, but it was like super loud. Like the first time it happened, I actually jumped because I wasn't expecting the music to be that.
She had it on low and it just poof.
Which traditionally, a lot of these movies, there is no music in the middle of them. So I completely agree with you.
This movie is so different from the ones that we've covered so far, especially like music-wise and just pace.
It's advanced,
I mean, you have to think Dracula was in 1931, as was Frankenstein, and then The Mummy was a year after, The Wolfman was 10 years after that, and now we're literally 20 years in, like almost 25 years.
1954.
Yeah, we're almost 25 years later. So a lot of advancements have been happening in like cinematography and all this stuff. So it's really showing, and it's probably why I enjoyed this movie so much.
All right, so the next scene cuts to a floating dock on, I guess that would be the Institute.
Yeah,
that they're at, and there's a guy diving in the middle of the water, and a woman comes up on a boat with the scientist that we just saw, and they put down a rope to collect the diver, and then comes up David.
Yeah,
David arrives.
So his lungs don't pop.
Correct. I think they go into like a little speech about that.
Yeah, this movie was very detailed as to why they were doing the things that they were doing.
So maybe that was a cutting edge technology at the time?
I mean, I don't know. Have either one of you ever gone scuba diving?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nope.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I know the whole you can't go from literally the bottom of the ocean to the top because your lungs will explode.
Yep.
But I don't, like, you look at the stuff that they have, they're not wearing full-blown wetsuits. They have, goggles that cover their nose and eyes, and they have a mouthpiece and tanks, and like flippers, but that's pretty much it when it comes to like their scuba gear per se. And that's for the entire movie. So I don't know if they had like a lot of stuff back there. If anybody out there who scuba dives or anything like that, please inform us. But I don't personally know anything about scuba diving because I am deathly afraid of water. I don't like it. This movie made me so uncomfortable when I was watching it at certain points.
Well, and you and I had talked, and I know I'm getting really ahead of myself, but I feel like this movie was probably the scariest for anyone who was into boating or diving at the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because
makes them scared of the water. So
yeah, I mean, this was probably like 25 years before Jaws. So this is what the first thing to make you afraid of the water. Here you go. Yeah. And I am already there, so we're good. You've succeeded.
Yeah, so Carl pulls up in a boat with her name's
Carl. Yeah, Kay.
So they pull up in a boat, they pick up David. He talks about, hey, you got to come back to the Institute where I got my hand. Here, look at this picture of it.
Oh, yeah, that he wants his expertise.
No way, like, you have this. So he decides to go back, and they take a look at the hand. There's a whole bunch of other scientists. The only big one that concerns us is Mark. So Mark is kind of like his colleague.
Yeah, and they're kind of like throughout the whole movie, they're kind of having like a pissing contest between the two of them.
Yeah, do you think Mark like has a thing for Kay at all?
I think there's definitely some maybe there had been some spurned advances. Maybe I don't know. That's the one thing that kind of always annoys me with these kinds of movies. Even though I really enjoyed this movie, is that it always involves some sort of either love triangle, or there has to be some romance. Just give me the damn horror or the scares or whatever without all this convoluted bullshit. Like, I don't need a love story in the midst of all. I get it's the time. I get it.
It's always a love story.
Not always. Oh, shit. No, you're right. I was literally about to give an example. I'm like, oh, fuck, there's a love story in that too. But whatever.
Expert over here.
I'd never claim to be an expert at all.
All right, so the gentlemen decide
we're going to go. An expert at school and Matt. Sorry, that was really a late comeback, but I had to say it.
Oh, that was awesome. I can't even be mad.
All right, continue. I'm sorry.
So they all decide with the board, you would say, that they're going to go and explore to find the rest of the mummified creature.
Yeah.
So they head off on a boat with a group of their team. And they head off to the camp, to Carl's camp to head back and find this creature. So along the way, they're doing small talk. They're getting there. They start blaring the horn to scare other animals. And then they arrive and they blow the horn again. And Louise doesn't come out. And he goes like, is there always supposed to be somebody at camp?
Yeah.
But nobody's there. So the gentlemen, they run out. They leave the boat. They go into the camp, and they find the two men dead.
Yeah, they got fucked up.
And they're horrified for this, and they're thinking that like either panthers,
Yeah, because there's like
a
slash
lion
marks and all this
or-
other stuff.
or something attack them, and they don't know what's going on. And then in the midst of this, Kay makes its way onto the embankment, and you get the music coming back with your.
Ba, ba, ba. I don't know.
The hand once again.
It's going to change
It's
every
going
time.
in slow mo.
I think that was James Bond that I just did.
John Cena.
It's not. I'm going to have to look this up because I have no idea.
It's John Cena.
All right. You would
the
know.
hand's going in slow to reach her, and it just stops right before it gets to touch her, and it creeps back into the water because the gentlemen are walking out of the tents.
So I know I said this before, but I was really impressed. I know it's 1954 and everything, so there's, again, a lot of advancements, blah, blah, blah. But I was really impressed. Like, when you see the hand reach out, like, the detail. You look at the differences between, I guess, what you can compare to, like, Frankenstein, the makeup and all that stuff, and the costume, per se. That was a really awesome, like, creature hand.
Well, they also do a lot of camera angles, and they play with the camera.
Oh, yeah.
With panning out, panning in, panning up, panning down.
One thing I wanted
really hitting the frame.
One thing I wanted to look into, and I never got a chance to, and it's fine, but I wonder if there had been previously any movies that really used water this much, because they literally dive and film and all that other stuff like a lot in this movie.
This is the technology. Like, they just came out with the underwater cameras.
Maybe. I have no clue, but I'm just saying.
Well,
it was very impressive.
We're going to get to it, but there's a scene coming up where they actually have an underwater camera.
Yeah. Oh, that's really dated.
Huge.
Yeah.
It is the size of a FedEx box. Like, it is 2 foot by 2 foot, and it's got this huge flash.
I'm not a strong swimmer to begin with, and having to actually hold that and swim, I would drown.
Well, you would think it's still a camera, so it's going to be light.
But you have to hold it with both hands.
Yeah. A 1930s camera is going to be a lot heavier than a 2010s camera.
I think it's probably that big because of the stabilizer inside of it, most likely.
We're going deep.
Yeah, I think you're drastically overestimating the technology from the 1930s.
Probably.
But it's 1950s.
A fucking 50s. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, so anyway.
It's hard to keep track of the years on these fuckers anymore.
We announce it every single time.
I only pay attention to you never.
Ew.
What?
Ew.
What? Why ew?
Ew. EW.
I know, I heard what you're saying.
Oh, well, I couldn't tell in your accent. It sounded like ew.
And I was saying, I don't pay attention to you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Fuck you guys.
Oh, shit.
So, next, David and Mark decide to go upriver to find the remaining mummy because they think that for some reason that the rocks eroded and they fell into the river. So that over millions of probably, or not millions, but a couple of years, thousands of years possibly. It's
been a while.
It's been a while that the erosion pushed all this up to a new part of the river. And then they asked the captain, they go, where does the river lead to? And he goes, it leads to a lagoon. So they decide to head up river to the lagoon. So as they're going up the river, they're talking about the lagoon, and they go, oh, the people used to call this the Black Lagoon. And what?
They used to call it the Black Lagoon.
Ooh. So they're heading up. See, he's doing better with the music.
I like my version.
Okay.
We can all have our own.
So they finally make it the way to the Black Lagoon, and they decide they're going to start diving for rocks to do some samples with the uranium lead test that they go and they talk about with the big speech to check out the rocks for sample matches.
Yeah.
And as they're swimming around, scuba diving, the creature that we finally see, his full glory, full size, is watching them.
That's better.
All right.
It's less John Cena.
Yeah, he's watching them from in between the seaweed, and he's panning out of the seaweed.
That freaks me out.
Going in and out, zooming around, holding his breath, possibly.
That's why I'll never go scuba diving, because if I see that, you're just gonna hear, you're just gonna see, and it just bubbles.
Did you ever hear about there's a lake in Minnesota that has there's a Jason statue at the bottom of it?
I would lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, people.
It's only if it moves.
Well, the whole point was that people would just be scuba diving and find it.
Oh, okay.
That would freak me out so badly.
But the paint and everything would be coming off of that thing unless they really...
Why are you thinking of it so technically? But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
It's still pretty cool. I'd like to see it. If I was a scuba diver,
do it.
that'd be something I'd be into. I also would be like one of those scuba divers. You'd have to have like clear visibility. Like the people that go, we live, near the, Delaware River.
The Delaware River,
never go to
Pennsylvania.
Scuba diving in that. Versus black.
You find dead bodies in there.
You can't even see.
Yeah, it's all brown and murky.
No.
We live in a rough area. Not really, but people have been found in the Delaware. Wisconsin can't be that great either.
No, I mean, it's got its own problems, but...
Exactly.
Yeah.
All that cheese.
So, back to the movie.
Anyway.
So, these guys, they get their rocks. They go back onto the boat to do their sample tests down below. And then Kay decides, you know what it's good for? It's a perfect time to go for a dip. So she jumps into the water and go for a nice little swim. And the creature's like, who's that? So the creature's, going up to her.
Who that?
Taking a look at her, swimming right below her, following her around. And at one point he starts playing with her and starts grabbing her leg.
Real quick, I thought that was such a... even though it's super creepy, I thought it was such a beautifully filmed shot of them literally parallel swimming. I thought that was so pretty. I don't know why I did, but it was just shot really nicely. I guess I only appreciate that shit.
Beautiful. I highly appreciated it. The curvatures of their bodies was beautiful.
Fuck off. I'm just trying to appreciate the... Fuck off. Continue with your synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to insert my opinions ever again.
Matt, do you want to comment on anything, Matt? Did you like her bathing suit?
Did you like her bathing suit? Nope.
Yeah. Nope. I don't want to talk about it.
All right. So she's swimming, then eventually they're like, where'd Kay go? So they go, hey, Kay, get back in the boat. So they bring the boat over, they pick her up.
Yeah, why are they so freaked out? She wasn't even that far away.
I don't know. I mean, at that point, you don't...
I mean, I think they're in Brazil, and I can guarantee you that there has to be some big snakes in that water,
at that point, they don't really see them. They haven't seen the monster.
Well, but they had an inkling that there was some very large creature.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'd be afraid of anything. Large lizard. Ugh.
So at this point, she gets back to the boat. They drop the anchor, and a fishing net is like kind of off to the side of the boat, and it just starts violently shaking. And they're like, "What's wrong with the fishing net?" So they pull it up, and they can't really pull it up. And then they finally get it up, and there's a huge hole in it. So they're like, "Oh shit, what's this? What's this huge hole?" So they start shining the light around, and what and behold, do they see?
A fingernail, right?
What?
Isn't it a fingernail?
Oh, yes. Oh,
what are you saying? What? Oh, a claw. I'm sorry. A claw would be better. He doesn't have fingernails.
So they find the claw.
Claw is the law.
They feel the presence of a predator. They're like, what was that? And they kind of hint that the claw is similar to the hand that they found before.
This looks familiar.
So the next time Mark and David go into the lagoon to collect, I guess, their rock samples, they bring these new advanced spear guns that they now have.
Yeah, those look deadly.
Yeah, that hold 3 spears.
3 shots like I would miss.
Yeah. They never show you reloading them. They're just magically...
They didn't, did they?
No, the whole movie. That's one thing that bothers
me. It's like, oh, well, they shot them a lot, and yet they always still had spears.
So they're swimming around, and they finally see the creature for the first time. So they witness it. The creature sees them. They see it. Mark tries to shoot the creature, and he misses. At this time, David has that big camera we were talking about earlier, and the camera kind of has a flash, a very large, powerful flash, and it kind of just shocks the creature, and he's kind of stunned. So at that point, they try to do it again, maybe by coincidence, maybe not, and it stuns him again, and then he shoots the spear, and it hits him. So the creature swims away, and they head back up to the boat to kind of, I guess we'd say, store their equipment. And then they shine.
Yeah, and they want to look at the picture.
They want to look at the pictures. And
be like, look, there's creature is present day. It's not a fossil. Like, there is actually still this giant creature.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And why they're doing that at this time, I think the creature boards the boat and puts...
It tries.
You see a hand and they all freak out.
It tries to steal Kay like 7 times.
Yeah.
Because it has a crush. Now, this is another one of those movies where I feel like the creature, the monster, is misunderstood.
I think he's more like, what are you?
Yep.
Yeah, and he's like,
I
she's
haven't seen
cute.
people in years.
He's probably never seen people.
Like, they're like me, but they don't have scales.
Yeah, I noticed. It took me a while to notice, but like actually, like his neck inflated when he like was breathing, like a frog type deal, like a bullfrog. Like I mean, he was more so like a fish, but I'm just saying. I was like, that is attention to detail. Continue.
So now
Neither one of you found what I had to say interesting.
No,
Now
but
they're all-
when he got shot, there was no blood or holes or anything.
Yeah, I guess that's one thing. So they
Well.
epped it up with violence, but no gore yet.
No, which for the time makes complete sense, but to pay enough attention so that when he breathes, his neck expands, but when he gets shot, all he does is go.
Well, I mean, I guess
Maybe
it's
it's
hard.
just- They don't really show the impalement either. Like, I thought he had like a really thick body armor type body.
Maybe we didn't get to touch him, so who knows? But that doesn't make any sense. Like, why? I mean, maybe they just didn't know how to showcase wounds in water because it wouldn't make sense and they wouldn't be able to.
It's a good
Because, like, thinking about last week when we talked about the mummy, they literally impaled a dude in that movie, and that was 20 years. No. When was the mummy? What year? 32. 32.
Yeah.
So that was like 20 years prior. Like, and they're showing an impalement, which must have freaked people out so badly.
Well, they also talk a lot about how science has advanced altogether. So maybe certain things are now acceptable at this point.
I guess. I don't know. I was just,
For those keeping track at home, the mummy was 22 years before the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Thanks, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now they're on the boat. They're talking about with the captain, and he's like, I got this powder that can just kind of poison and kill fish. Do you want to use it? And they're like, what? You've been holding back on us?
Oh, you missed the part where that one guy gets attacked with K and like he like mauls his face, right? That already happened. That was pretty graphic. He mauls the shit out of that dude.
No, that's when he reaches his hand in through the window.
Yeah, because that guy's already on the bed and he's like, like trying to scream.
You're way behind. That doesn't happen until he gets burnt.
All right,
with the
fine.
fire.
I don't know. I
You're
mix it up. I
jumping
did love this movie though.
Jumping the gun.
Fine.
I got the notes here.
Fine. Continue.
Okay, so when I was talking about the
That's
captain talks to Mark, and he's like, I got this great poison that's in a powder form that can kill the fish. He's like, do you want to use it? We can go around in a little rowboat together and sprinkle this stuff into the water. So they do that. They decide that they're gonna sprinkle that into the water. You see all the fish float up to the surface.
I did jump the gun.
You see all the fish float up to the surface. It looks like they've been doing this for possibly hours on end. They've been doing circles and circles around the boat. And at this time, it's getting to nighttime, and nothing really happens. So they head back to the boat. At this time, the creature comes on board onto the boat, gets into a little scuffle, tries to grab Kay, but doesn't, dives back into the water, and goes over to one of the banks. And it's nighttime at this time, and they go shine the light. So they shine a light at it, and they see it, and I think they shoot at him at this time.
They do something, but I can tell you right now, if I would have gotten to that point where I saw in the flesh this 6-foot-tall creature who's literally keeps trying to attack us, I would leave. I would not stay there.
You're just like, let's go dive after this.
Yeah, they're all
That's
just
what
like
they do next.
science. I'm like,
They're
I
like,
don't give a fuck. I just want to go home.
He does look like the stuff's affecting him. So they're like, let's dive in after him.
Yeah, well,
So
'cause
he dives back into the water, and they follow him, and it goes into almost like a cave-like grotto
yeah,
that they emerge
it's
into.
pretty, but
That's pretty interesting. And Mark sees footprints, and they follow the footprints. So with the footprints lead back to the jungle,
oh shit.
which are to the lagoon. And at this point, they're kind of on their own. The monster approaches a crew member and kills him immediately. While they're inspecting the guy that's dead on the floor, he approaches Kate, who's now alone, and he grabs her. She faints, and he picks her up. But at this time, the poison really kicks in, and he passes out and falls into the water.
Yeah, he wasn't
So
doing
then
too good.
they capture him for the first time.
See, that wasn't his best move, but again, I think slightly misunderstood. He just had a little crush, and he's a creature he doesn't understand.
Does he ever speak? Like, we don't
No.
ever really hear a voice out of him. So
No.
I tried playing that back. I tried to see if
No,
we could hear
the
any.
creature from the Black Lagoon does not utter human words.
What do you think he sounds like? Just fish noises?
I don't know.
Yeah, fish noises.
Ba-da-da.
So now they put him in this beautiful, I guess, water-like cage. I couldn't figure out if he's on the boat or if he's in the water.
He's in the water, but
in a cage.
You know how sometimes there's a section in boats where they fill it up slightly with water for the fish? That's exactly what he's in.
Okay, so that's what I'm
because he has to be submerged, but he can live outside of water.
Okay. So he's in a storage tank, but locked up in this man-made cage that they made out of like bamboo. And he's kind of, he wakes up from his sedation sleep that he's going through. And he's kind of bobbing up and down, checking it out. And when they're not looking, he breaks out of it. Like just all of a sudden, like dynamite just went off.
He doesn't really try until he sees Kay standing there with that dude. He was kind of fine. He's like, whatever. I guess I'm stuck in this goddamn cage. But then he's like, okay. And then he's just like, you see him pushing up to see where the weak spots are, and then he busts through it, and that's where I jumped the gun.
And then he gets in a fight with the crew member, and the crew member's holding the oil lamp. The oil lamp gets on both of them. They both catch in flames. The monster dives into the water, and who knows what happens to this guy, but somebody put out the flames. He's now very much injured, and they put him...
he collapses, and it looks like, I can't tell now if it's burns or like, I believe it's slash marks on his face from the creature. So. Yeah.
So at this point, we now have a few deaths. We got a few people died in the camp. We have a few people that were attacked.
Scandalous.
People are dead. The captain at this time
everybody's dead.
The captain's like, we gotta leave. This is not worth it. My crew's dying. So Mark kind of gets an argument with them, but he gives in, and now they decide, okay, we're gonna head out of here. So as they're heading back down the river or up the river, by any chance, they notice that a barricade
in a van down by the river?
By like a fallen... there's a barricade of a fallen tree, but they think that it was put there.
Oh, yeah. That was total creature sabotage.
It's making a trap so it can think for itself.
Yeah, it's intelligent as all hell.
Yeah. So then they're trying to raise it out of the ground with the anchor wrench that they have on the boat. They're trying and trying. They can't get it. They dive into the water. They're still trying.
Stressful.
He kind of hooks it together, but then the creature takes it apart, and they kind of get into like a scuffle underwater.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. They battle. They pick up them dukes.
So they get back on the boat. At this time, for the first time.
Why, Iota?
Yeah. And then they get back on the boat, and then Mark and David get into a fight for some reason out of the blue. They're just
that whole... Well, because Mark and David the whole time, Mark wants... fame.
He wants to kill the monster.
Yeah, he wants to keep it. It's like a hunt for him. He wants like a trophy out of it. He wants fame. Dave, right?
Yes.
Dave, I can't remember if it was Don, wants to look at this as like a scientist does. He wants to study it. He wants to understand it. He wants to be genuine and sympathetic towards it and have compassion, where the other guy is just like, I don't fucking care about that. I care about green.
Yep. So they get in a fight. Who throws the first punch?
Trivia for me? That would be Mark. And then Dave whammies the shit out of that bitch.
Yep, he's got that boom hook. Got him.
He deserved it. He sucker punched him.
Yeah, but they must have got over it pretty quick.
Yeah,
because after this, they're just like, let's put on our spear guns.
Well,
put on our
Dave goes in the water first, and then Mark follows him because I guess he wasn't like going to let him go by himself. Like he wants glory too.
But while down there, the creature attacks Mark. And then the creature brings him all the way down to the bottom. We get some little dirt in the mix, a little cloud going on.
Oh yeah, don't they have the gun?
They got
with
the spear
poison?
guns.
No, the gun with the poison.
Oh yeah.
I jumped it again. God damn.
I got. It's not. We're not there.
I'm
yet.
sorry.
Just hold your horses.
Okay.
I'm doing the lead. So yeah, while they're down there, the creature attacks Mark, like I was saying, and then David shoots his gun off.
David
misses.
Oh.
And kills Mark. Mark floats all the way up to the top.
Damn, I don't think that happened.
Yeah, it did.
I don't think Mark died.
Yeah, Mark died. Mark got hit.
Wait, Matt.
I don't remember. Don't ask me.
You watched it today.
Was at work.
I don't remember that.
Yes, Mark died. He got shot in the midst of the cloud.
Okay, you don't need to talk to me with that tone.
Mark is mauled to death.
Yeah, I told you. He did not get
He got shot.
No, he did not get shot.
He did not get shot.
Did I mess up?
I'm taking this shit over. All I remember is something happened. There was a kerfuffle underwater. Mark gets knocked out, and then Dave saves him. And yeah,
I thought he got shot too.
Is mauled to death while trying to capture the creature single-handedly underwater.
He should have got shot.
All right, in Dan's alternate version of Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Dan's alternate cut, Mark gets shot.
Yep.
Right in the face.
He's shot right in the chest.
He gets that blacka.
Right in the lung.
God, I hope the rest of the movie's correct.
Fuck.
It's supposed to be professional.
It's all wrong. Never saw the movie.
And then at the end of the movie, a UFO lands.
That was the other movie we watched the other day. All right.
Continue.
So while
With your
down there,
incorrect synopsis.
actually, while down there, the creature attacks Mark.
You have some weird fucking notes, dude.
Mark floats to the top, and the creature gets away.
Oh, really? That's shocking. So surprising. I'm leaving this in.
About that.
Continue, Daniel.
All right, so David now decides to get kind of like revenge on his friend because he's been injured. So he decides to poison the creature with pressurizing a tank of powdered liquid into the scuba tank with a little gun to shoot out the liquid.
In the scuba tank?
In the scuba tank. So he dives back down to confront the creature while setting up the hoist so they can move this tree out of the way. And he starts shooting off the poison, and he misses a few times, but eventually he shoots the poison. He hits him with a spear gun as well and shoots him.
Maybe. Flamethrower underwater.
Sharknado.
And Jaws came out of nowhere and ate the fucking creature.
And the creature seems to retreat back to his in the direction of like his grotto area.
Mm-hmm.
So after the hoist is secure, they decide to move the tree. In the midst of the removal, the creature boards the boat and kidnaps Kate.
Dun dun dun. Kate or Kay?
Kay.
Ba-da-da-ba.
Kidnaps Kay. Sorry about that.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
So he decides to dive back into the water to follow them. So David dives after him into the grotto. He finds her laying on a rock while approaching Kay. The creature jumps out of a pool area of water and attacks David. They get into a fight, and then all of a sudden a crew member arrives, the captain, and shoots him with a gun multiple times. The creature stumbles back, kind of walks away, going back towards the lagoon, and David at this time is like, don't worry about it. He's going to be a goner. He goes back into the lagoon, and then you see him go all the way down to the bottom, and at this point we would assume that he died.
Or does he?
This is the point at which you realize we've all lost it.
It's true. When we turn into a musical podcast. So is that the end of the movie?
That is the end of the movie.
That is the end of the movie.
As they're holding together.
Well.
That's the end of the movie.
You guys know, when it's the end of the movie, that means that you get quizzed in Questions of the Damned. Now, again, for those of you listening, Matt, my dearest Matt.
So bad.
He doesn't do well with...
I'm a bad test taker, which means I'm just not smart.
It's not that. You're just not attentive. You're not like Daniel, who had a complete alternate movie going on.
These have nothing to do with the movie, though.
Yes, they do.
I mean, watching the movie does not mean that I know the answers.
True.
Right.
But Daniel is up 3. Matt has 1. He's really got to step up his shit if he ever plans to have any type of bragging rights ever besides 1 week of his life. So, with that, because I feel bad for you, I will let you get the first question.
I'm just going to get to go the first every time because I'm either in the lead because I won last week or you feel bad for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt, what was the name of the boat? Orion, Second Wind, or Rita?
Rita?
Correct.
Fuck, okay.
Good.
I was like, I know this one.
Bitch, I'm so proud of you.
I could have swore I remember seeing Rita in the movie, but I was not sure.
It was on everything. It was
I got nervous.
Guys,
I got nervous. I got a little sweaty.
All right, Daniel.
All right.
Which actor performed all of their own stunts in the movie? Richard Denny.
The creature.
No, the creature's not on here.
14.
72. Julie Adams, Richard Carlson. Now, this is literally Mark, Dave, and...
You're talking about like scuba
Kay.
diving and it all?
Yeah, they did all their own stunts.
All right.
So it's Mark, Dave, Kay. Those are the actors. So you have Richard Denning, Richard Carlson, Julie Adams.
I'm going to go with Richard Carlson because he was the big name.
And you would be wrong.
Oh!
Second.
Jesus.
Sorry. Richard or Julie are my options?
Yes.
I thought I picked Richard.
No, there's two Richards. Richard Denning.
I should have just said Richard. Damn it.
Richard Carlson, Julie Adams.
Julie.
Correct.
Fucking.
She had it easy. She only had like 10 minutes. Oh, she
Womp,
picked
womp,
her.
womp.
Brr, 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 brr.
Lay on this rock. It's a big scene. Okay.
She swam. She did everything. She survived. All right, Daniel.
Yes.
True or false? 2 men portray the gill man in this film. One in the water and one out of the water.
True.
Correct. Ba-ba-da-ba. Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
How long was Rico Browning, the water gillman, required to hold his breath in some scenes? 4 minutes? 6 minutes? 3 minutes?
He's trying to hold his breath right now.
No,
just
I know anything more than 1 minute is generally pretty difficult, so I'm gonna go with 3.
You would be wrong.
Fuck.
It's 4.
And he would be right.
Because that's the only other option. I thought. What was the third one?
6.
Yeah, 6 is way too long.
You would have brain damage.
Yep.
He's still alive, actually.
I give
We're
that
2 and 2 right now, right?
guy some
Yes.
kudos.
Sorry,
How much?
I got a notification on my phone because there's a giant thunderstorm coming.
You're
Brr, brr, brr.
gonna be doing it all the time now. Okay, whose turn is it?
It's like the Madden thing.
No, that's ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
No, the
Yeah,
other one.
yeah, she's right.
Whose
I
turn is it?
hate
You
to
got it
admit
right, so it's your
mine.
turn.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for the game winner, how many times did Rico Browning portray the Gillman? 6 times? 3 times? 1 time? You can do it.
50-50.
This is not Who Wants to
Damn
Be a
it.
Millionaire.
You know what?
What do you mean by portray?
You miss 50% of the chances you don't take Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
What was the question?
I was hoping you'd see Michael Scott.
Um,
How many times did Rico Browning portray the Gillman? How many times did he play him? 6 times, 3 times, or 1 time?
Can you
Come on.
remind me if Rico Browning was one who played the in or out of water one?
It doesn't matter.
It does to me.
He was the in water.
Okay, and what are my options again?
1, 3, or 6?
1, 3, or 6. 6, 3, or 1.
3, 1, 6. 6, 1.
Now,
God.
do dinner breaks count? I'm
The fuck
buying
does that even
time.
mean?
I'm buying time. 3.
And Matt wins the game.
Fucking.
Damn it.
Ah,
Why are you making them with odd?
ah,
What do you mean? Why am I making them with odd numbers?
ah,
Well, people win.
ah.
That means we're tied.
No, it's 3-2.
It's 3
You're
to 2.
still-
Yeah, you're still winning, but. Yeah.
What do we get for winning?
Bragging rights for the
Absolutely nothing. It
Nothing,
doesn't matter
absolutely nothing.
One bit.
I think maybe in 72 years when we're done this show, I'll make like a little trophy.
Yeah.
No, oh my God. At the end of each season, whoever wins that,
I'll
the
get a
amount,
fucking trophy.
we'll get a little trophy and then we'll mail it back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that one time probably before he gets old.
Yeah. No, we mail enough stuff back and forth that the trophy
Yeah.
will move.
That's okay, fine. How about we wager whoever wins has to send the other beer?
On top of the beer that we already sent each other? Sure.
No. You have to send a specialty beer.
Okay. Okay.
See, now it makes it interesting. Now it makes it fun.
I was like, I'm gonna
It
study.
only took us 5 episodes to get here, but that's fine.
Season's not over, so we're good.
I know you could come back and win the rest or lose them all, as I'm predicting.
Listeners,
Yeah,
let us
no,
know
I don't
what
think I'm going to do very well. Dan's going to be getting a lot of beer on my dime.
All right, so now that we are at this point in the show and Dan has been declared the winner yet again, Or no, Matt has been declared the winner. Shit.
You're so
Sorry,
used to
Sam.
saying, no, it's fine. It's
I know,
fine.
I'm so used to it.
It's fine.
We will recommend or not recommend this movie. I'll go first because I'm just going to do it. I loved this movie. I don't actually think I ever saw this when I was a kid, and if I did, I don't remember it. And I genuinely think that this is probably my favorite Universal monster movie that I have ever seen. I thought it was actually legitimately creepy in some parts. I could see why it absolutely terrified people in the 50s. I thought it was great. I would recommend this wholeheartedly, and I would definitely watch it again. Dan?
I would recommend it as well. I really liked it. I thought there was a lot of cool new things that you saw for the time. You know, you got a lot of the underwater, action parts.
Yeah, that was cool.
A lot of more science. So they talk more about that.
Science.
More physicality with attacking one another. Haven't got into the gore yet, but maybe we'll get there.
That's next
So
week.
I would recommend this movie. This is a very good one. How about you, Matt?
It's all right.
All right.
I didn't. So you seem to think I was going to like it a whole lot more than I really did.
Typically, when I think you're going to really like something, you're just like,
I hate it.
that is the worst.
That fucking fly is back. I didn't hate this movie by any means, but you got to keep in mind I was kind of preoccupied when I watched it. It was a little less visual, it was less auditory, more visual than some of the other movies.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of was a little more difficult because I wasn't able to give it my full attention. I do kind of want to rewatch it because I know this, like, a really good friend of mine, it was him and his mom's favorite movie, so I was really excited to watch this. So I do want to go back and actually rewatch it with my full attention. But what I saw, like, didn't turn me off.
Well, that's good.
So I guess for the sake of the question at hand, I would recommend it.
Oh, yay. 3 recommends. I think that's the first since the first week. I'm pretty sure. But
It's probably the last 2. Seeing
right.
what is ahead, it's probably the last.
steamroll ahead.
So that takes us to the end for today. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you'd like to support the show, you can become a donor at patreon.com or buy merch at tpublic.com. All the links will be posted in the show notes. Bye. Thanks for listening.
See you later.
Labor Day.
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da.
Dun, 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 dun.
Listen to the sounds.
Hunting calls mostly. Animals out for the kill.
Some of them are cries of fear, like people who whistle in the dark.
What does it mean to be all in? It means you're confident you're doing the right thing. You commit to it. For Dominion Energy, we're all in on helping the environment. We're all in on clean energy, all in on solar, all in on building the nation's largest offshore wind farm. We're even capturing the methane from local farms to create renewable natural gas. We're not doing it because it's the easy thing to do, but because it's the right thing to do. For your family and friends, your neighbors and your community, for the future, for our planet. Dominion Energy. Actions speak louder.